Hi guys, welcome back to another movie review by me, Beardo. Today I will be reviewing Battle of the Sexes.
Crimson and Clover.
The film is about Billie Jean King in the 70s after she's won a recent championship, and she realises that for the next tournament, female tennis players are being paid 8 times less than male if they win. She's not very happy about this, so she starts up her own league so that women are paid a fairly amount if they win the championship. The film also follows Bobby Riggs, who is played by Steve Carell. He's in his 50s and trying not to let go of the fame that he got from when he used to be a pro tennis player. So he's gambling a lot and he's trying to challenge Billie Jean King for a competition in order to see who is better, men or women. One of the things I like straight away about the film was how the story starts amidst what's happening. So Billie Jean King has just won a championship and she finds out straight away that she's not going to be paid, or the winner's not going to be paid as much as men if she wins next time. Normally your protagonists are beaten down quite hard, a lot of rejection in films before they can actually kind of come together and fight the odds. But I like the fact that this starts off straight away with the women bonding together and coming up with a solution. One that may not appeal to everyone, but one that serves their purpose. And because of that, the film doesn't really get sidetracked in other measures. You do have other side stories going on, such as Billie Jean King's sexuality, or Bobby Riggs' gambling, but what I think is clear here is the fact that it's about the sport and about the approaches that are taken towards men and women playing this sport. Emma Stone does a fantastic job as Billie Jean King. There's a lot of Emma Stoneisms that you see through a lot of her films that aren't really here, which is always good to see. It means that she's taking roles where she can't rely on stuff she's usually doing. And while she's done a lot of dramatic roles and even some comedy roles, I think this one, based in history, is really good for her because it just shows how well she can sink herself into a role. Steve Carell is also really good as Bobby Riggs. He's a very annoying character. You think he's just an idiot really, which compared to what I've seen online of Bobby Riggs in real life, doesn't really stray far. All the escapades he got up to in his personal life and all the shenanigans and the theatricals of him playing tennis just kind of go to show what an idiot he was as a person, and I think Steve Carell does a really good job at portraying that. There's also a good amount of support from other characters played by Sarah Silverman, Bill Pullman, Elizabeth Shue and a few others, and I think it's a really good ensemble piece because every character feels like they actually have something to sink their teeth into rather than just show up for a scene and disappear. Something I wasn't expecting so much was the emphasis on her sexuality. It kind of played really well because although it's hinted at and kind of shown bits and pieces in the trailer, I wasn't sure how much that would be a driving force for the film. And I think it was handled in a really well way. Alan Cummings also pops up as a designer, and the way his character interacts with Emma Stone's is really sweet. He's like a guardian to her, he's guiding her on the right path because you can tell he's obviously gay. And although people have their suspicions about Billie Jean King, it's not obvious. Directed by the team that brought us Little Miss Sunshine, I thought the direction was really well. It felt really authentic, organic. It felt very 70s in the costume, the set, the hair. It just felt like it was a product of its time. The score was really nice and not too intrusive. In the scenes where Billie Jean King was with her lover, the music had this organ church kind of sound which wasn't so much sinister as it was like you could tell it was something that wasn't supposed to be happening, which really reflects on the character's mind, I think. I only had a couple of issues with the film. One being towards the end with the big match between Billie Jean King and Bobby Riggs. It didn't really build up to the final points. You were just watching a lot of footage intercut with each other until it came to the match point, which was the winning point of the game. I think it would have been nice if you saw some score updates in the corner every time they cut to a new shot of a new point being scored, just so you kind of had a feeling of where this was building up to. Also, I don't think they made the scene of Billie Jean King's sexuality that emotional the first time she's experimenting. It's very well shot and it's very delicate, but I didn't find too much emotion behind it, so you didn't really feel like the stakes were that high. All in all, I really enjoyed this film. It had great performances from Emma Stone and Steve Carell, giving them both a chance to experiment with something slightly different from what they've done before. And it was also great to look into a piece of history that was a bit more involved in the LGBTQ community than I actually realised. I didn't realise how much of the film would be centred around that, and it was a real driving force for Billie Jean King's victory, I think. And for those reasons, I am going to score Battle of the Sexes 4 out of 5. Thanks for sticking around and watching another one of my movie reviews. Give it a thumbs up, comment or subscribe, and you'll see more reviews coming from me soon. Thank you.